All right, so since last week, there have been a very serious debate about GMO foods that Bill Gates and co are bringing into Nigeria. A lot of people say we don't want it.
Greetings to my dearest family. Welcome again to Direct TV, bringing to you the true Group Joshua and my dearest family. This video I'm bringing to you today is actually an important video because thank God that a lot of people have started speaking out concerning some of this food that the man of Pastor Chris has been warning against, and one of them is very dark man. Everything it says here is in support of what the man of God Pastor Chris has been warning against. But before we watch that, let's quickly watch this interview and I'll be right back.
Thank you so much, and this is something I'm very passionate about. We've been on this since 2012 or 2011, and you get to a point where you not only talk about the GMOs, you're also looking at alternatives, and it's because of that I became a farmer. I grow beans, I grow maize and other vegetables. Now, what exactly are the problems? Seeds are the foundation of human and animal life on earth. Whoever that controls your seed controls your life, as you heard on that. Now, the second thing I want to establish is that you are what you eat. The third one is let your food be your medicine. That's what the father of medicine, P.Chris, said to us. Then we need also look at the food labeling. These are the issues on this GMO debate. We look at the food labeling, we look at another one that nobody seems to talk about, the glyphosate. Now, what are GMOs? We've talked so much about what are GMOs, and you heard the guy talk about transgenic modification. The danger that we have is not, a lot of times when you talk about this, they tell you, oh, you're anti-science, you're not supporting biotechnology. We love biotechnology. We want to grow with technology as technology is growing. But the problem we have is what we're doing in Nigeria and in some other places. But I want to focus on Nigeria. Nigeria is my country. I love my country. Yeah. And another thing I also want to, correct. When we talk about GMOs, people want to politicize it. This has nothing to do with President Tinubu. This has nothing to do with APC. It's important that we don't lose focus. Food concerns everybody. All of us, we eat food. Now, GMOs in Nigeria, we're talking about transgenic. When you cross organisms that are taxonomically different, you have a problem. What am I saying? When you take, let's keep it at layman's, forget all the scientific stuff. When you take genes from an animal and put inside a plant, you're already breaking the boundaries of nature. Ethically, that is wrong. In a normal situation, a fish cannot mate tomato. But we are breaking these boundaries in the name of science. And what people are not talking about is, okay, what will be the outcome in future? Because when you talk, they tell you, oh, I run a hospital and I know the kind of diseases we see on a daily basis. Now, you're not going to literally link, oh, this person, like this 18-year-old boy that is hypertensive. You're not going to say, oh, it's because he ate GMO. Nobody's going to buy that. I mean, in terms of research and all that, okay? But we need to look at glyphosate. If I take your blood samples now to the lab, I can promise you, that I can get the glyphosate residues in your blood samples. And I encourage Nigerians. That's why, when people come to the clinic, okay, hold on. Hold on. I encourage, when people come to the clinic, we do your nutritional profile. These are not conventional questions people ask you when you go to the hospital. I want to know what you have eaten in the past 2 weeks. There's a reason for that. When I know what you have eaten in the past 2 weeks, if you have fed mostly on junk food, what do I mean by junk food? Fast food and all that, made from all this imported corn, soy food and all that, I can assure you 89% that you have glyphosate residue in your system. Now the question is this: what is glyphosate? Glyphosate is the pesticide, herbicide, whichever one you want to use, that is used for growing GMO crops. Okay? Now,
so is it specifically for GMO, or is it just a broad spectrum
now
herbicide?
What is going on is that farmers are now using it to kill weeds.
So it's not just farms. For GMO?
You must use it if you're planting GMO crops.
But they also use it for non-GMO crops.
Nigerians, they're using it for their farms now, okay? But the organic farmers, I don't use Roundup.
So it should not be used?
It should not be used. Why? And I'm going to tell you why. Number one, before I get to that, GMOs, I tell people, are pesticides. Why do I say that? There's a definition. What are pesticides? Pesticides are an enormous group of chemicals designed to kill unwanted insects, insecticides, weeds, herbicides, rodents, and fungi. Many pesticides endanger human health or damage ecosystem, creating risk for companies to buy or produce food and other crops. Now, GMOs, for instance, the beans we just released, they are modified to produce their own pesticides, so that the pests that attack plants will not eat that. Now, that might sound good in terms of growing the beans and all that, because of the implication to human health. Any plant that can produce its own insecticide or pesticide is automatically a pesticide. So these plants, in a normal situation, cannot pass through NAFDAC regulation definition of food, and that is why it is not NAFDAC that is regulating GMO foods. It's another agency, because if NAFDAC,
the National Biosafety
Management Agency. Now, the danger in that is this: NAFDAC, they have their clear definition of food, so you cannot come now and start telling us that the GMO beans is food, when there's a clear definition of what a pesticide is.
So my dearest family, I actually want you to stick to the end, because I posted a video some time ago where the man who got Pastor Chris listed some warning that many of us must take note of. So this video, apart from the GMO, there are some warnings I want you to listen to. So watch Very Dark Man also talk about this GMO, and then I'll be right back with the man who got Pastor Chris.
All right, so since last week, there have been a very serious debate about GMO foods that Bill Gates and co are bringing into Nigeria. A lot of people say we don't want it, right? Now, first of all, what is GMO? GMO foods, or genetically modified food, are products derived from organisms whose genetic material have been altered using genetic engineering techniques. Whose genetic materials have been altered. That means this food is actually artificial. I don't want to care any other English that is coming. Now, they are bringing it to Nigeria. Why do we need GMO in Nigeria? Do we have shortage of lands to farm? Is it that we don't have workforce? Is it that the natural food we have been eating, has it been buying people? Have there been side effects from eating our natural foods? Like, what is the purpose of bringing GMO? If they are eating GMO, genetically modified organism food, outside in some European countries or in the US, I would understand. Because some of these countries, they don't have farmlands. And even if they have farmlands, they don't have youth that are willing to till the soil for food. A lot of them are lazy. That's why they have been eating junk food for the longest. So if you are taking GMO to America and those other places, I will understand. But Africa, I'm still trying to understand why you are trying to bring GMO to Africa. Number one, we have lands for farming. We have fertile lands. We have the workforce and we have the labor force. Now let's come to Nigeria. We have the food basket of the nation. Fertile land. We have jobs. We have a lot of lands. There's no place in Nigeria that you plant that it will not grow. So why do we need GMOs? Why? This same GMO that have been banned in a lot of countries. See some of the countries that are banned in France. France like early colonial masters. Germany, Austria, Greece, Hungary, Russia, plenty. And within the EUs, the European Union, the Schengen countries, a lot of them have banned it. But Africa, because of the kind of leaders we have, they want to welcome it. Now, I am trying to add 2 plus 2 together. Could it be the reason why the government don't care about farmers that are dying? Are they trying to stop farming in Nigeria so that they can introduce this GMO to us? Make it make sense. Every day in the food basket of the nation, farmers are being buy. Every blessed day. The slogan of that state is the food basket. But they keep attacking the food basket of the nation. Could it be because they want to introduce GMO? Enugu State, farmers are being buy. Could it be because they want to introduce GMOs? That's why they didn't care about these farmers that have been buying. Edo State, the same thing. Think about any state that there have been terrorist attack. You notice that a lot of them are farmers. The people that are being attacked constantly are farmers. Could it be that this is the reason why the government don't care about farmers being killed? Could it be that it is because they want to introduce these GMOs? Our forefathers, Africa, our generation, we have been known from eating from the ground, the natural way. Our great-grandfathers were farmers and fishermen. Go to the Niger Delta region. Farmers and fishermen. Farming used to be the pride of Africa, and even in Nigeria. That's why we have the yam pyramids there. Go back to your primary 3 readers. Those of us that were born in the 90s. If you open Alliance Simbic textbook, you could see where they put yam, tubers of yam. He went to go and buy greens. He went to go and buy rice and all these things. There was pride in farming. Again, why is it that any time that they want to test anything, they'll bring it into Africa? Like I said, why do we need GMO? Is it that our own food, we started reacting to it? What is the problem? Were people dying eating the natural food? We have been eating the food from the ground for donkey years. Nothing has been happening. So I don't see any reason why we need to welcome GMO. That's just, for me, there's no reason. The government will not invest in farming. Could this be why? We are supposed to be sending food abroad because we have the lands. The government are supposed to invest in the youth, carry like 5 million tractors, bring 5 million tractors, say, come, Anambra State, take 5 million, Edo State, take 5 million tractors. This one, take, everybody, take. Enter farm. Want to start producing natural food and be sending it. But instead, they let the farmers to be constantly attacked without finding any solutions, and they have the solutions. This same country again, one of the biggest problems the farmers always face is that cows enter their farmlands and eat their crops. That is one of the genesis of the problem between Fulani people and Nigerian farmers. But guess what? Most of the cows that these Fulani people carry, now politicians get them. Politicians will get 200 cows, 500 cows, 1 million cows. A lot of politicians have cows. And these farmers keep crying every day. Now go they do open grazing. You cannot create ranch for them. We have the lands. We don't need GMOs. I don't care the English anybody wants to use. We don't need it. We have lands, fertile lands. We have people that like to till the soil. We have old mothers that like to go and plug leaf. There's no English on earth that will make me see GMO as something reasonable. Because we don't need it. They need it. Because they have lazy youth. They have lazy people. And they like junk food. We like pounded yam, banga soup and starch, owo soup, begiri, nla, tuwo chinkafa, miyan kuka, ofe onugbu, egusi soup, akpu, gari, semo, amala, tuwo, starch, banga.
There you have it, my dearest family. And you know that the man who got Pastor Chris has been warning against this time and time again.
And then I told you about the GMO in foods and drinks. It's all part of the same plan. It's hunger based on artificial scarcity. They're creating the scarcity. They're creating the shortage of food. They're stopping the farmers from doing their work. Seizing lands and making sure that your lands cannot produce by polluting and damaging the soil with their fake fertilizers. Those fertilizers are not real fertilizers. They are destructions to the soil. That's what they're doing. And then lots of poisonous chemicals.
Alright, my dearest family, there you have it. And finally, I want to leave you with this. During the just concluded global prayer and fasting with the man of God, Pastor Chris, he gave 7 warning that every country should look out for in their law, because they are coming. They are coming for your country. And he asked everyone to look at these things in their nations. So you can forward this thing to the closest person, those in place of authority, so that they can know what's going on and they can revise, their laws that they have already made. So watch this, guys. And for those of you coming new to my channel, hit the subscribe button, subscribe, like today's video, and let me know in the comment section what you think about this video. Watch this.
I'm going to mention 7 areas where they're working right now, trying to twist your laws in these areas. I told you. And I said, review your laws. And every new law or amendment of your law since 2020, go check. You may need to fight it. You may need to fight it. You've got to do something about it. And I'll give you the areas that you have to look at, because they are not in the interest of your country. They're only in the interests of the kleptocrats. Let me read. Number 1, environment. They're working on environmental laws to capture your environment. And that's state capture, really. What environmental laws are they making in the guise of controlling climate change? A hoax. If you really believe in climate change, that there's been climate change, global warming, and so on, you are deceived. I feel sorry for you. Doesn't matter how many PhDs you have, you've been led astray. You read the wrong books. You went to the wrong school. You have the wrong mentality. You are not asking the right questions. They're very simple questions you can ask. How can you be so fooled? For example, I think it was 2 years ago when I said that the population of the world was given to us with the wrong estimates, dubiously given to us with the wrong estimates. Now the whole world accepted the population estimates. You all accepted it. Oh, we're like 7 point whatever billion people around the world, going to 8 billion. And when it hit 8 billion by their numbers, which they put on the internet world population page, everybody was happy about it. But it was dubious. I raised the question, how did they come about the numbers? Because I did my own research, I found out they lied. It was based on nothing. Absolute nothing. No scientific estimates were used. Nothing. They created the number they wanted and then broke it down to the smaller figures and appointed numbers to nations. That's all they did. Crazy stuff. Who would have believed that was what they would do? Who would have thought so? And I gave you the information. They don't have the workforce. There was no scientific method whatsoever. You would have assumed they somehow did some satellite, whatever. Nothing. Nothing. And some of the data they give you, guess how they get some of them? They send out university students to different places to go collect what they call data. Ask questions in the streets. Write down the reports. We all went to school. And they did send us on some of those jamborees. How accurate were these things? How many students actually came back with the right information? And how many people you were interrogating in the streets gave you true answers? How foolish have we been? And then you let somebody impose their conclusions on dubiously accumulated data on you. Well, that happened in 2020. Won't happen again. Won't happen again until the rapture of the church. Won't happen again. And so, what they're doing right now is a failed project. It's a failed project. So, I'm telling you the areas they're working on in your country, and you better find out. They're working on new laws, new regulations, on the environment. 1, healthcare. 2, food production and agriculture. 3, land use and ownership. 4, water resources. 5, elections. 6, and especially trying to get countries to use electronic voting, which is the first place for election fraud, election manipulation. Don't accept those electronic voting machines. They are a deception. They are a deception. They are a deception. Who controls it? Who controls the programming? The number 7, the justice system as a judiciary. These 7 areas are at risk in your country. Find out what laws are being crafted or have been crafted since 2021 or even 2020, from then till now. And don't take this lightly, because they are weaponizing the law against you.